Alright, we're just gonna get right into this one. One car, another car, giant truck, two Tonka trucks that are gonna get combined into one vehicle. 209 Slash is getting rebuilt. That's getting turned into a crawler of some kind. Truck body also getting turned into a full RC car. Mini truck, talked about that in the last video. Then we have this 4x4 Camaro, which is currently sitting on only 2 tires. Because that's getting different tires, and the tires that are on it are going on that. I want to get started into what the hell is going on with each vehicle. There's also a boat. There's a boat I'm building. There's parts of it outside the garage. I'll explain what the hell is going on with each vehicle. This, not one of the first RC cars I've had, but it's the oldest RC car I technically have. And it's currently that. Did actually have throttle hooked up, I believe. Yeah, throttle's hooked up, so it'll actually go forward and backward. I don't remember what the hell controller comes with this. I have fucking those two and the one in the bag over there. It's more or less the fact that this doesn't have battery connectors left because they literally broke off. And the steering servo I think is junk. But this is going to be some kind of thing. I'm probably just going to beat on this thing after I get to want to run. Does have fender, exit, exhaust. Basically what this is supposed to be is turbocharged. That is where the wastegate tube that comes out at, and the actual exhaust is coming out the back. Because for some reason this has a spot on the frame where it could be like an exhaust attached to it. So I utilize that. This originally was an 86. I don't actually know what year. I literally just this car has a stand on the frame or the back of the controller. 1986 Audi Quattro rally car. Not full on rally car, but like the street version of it. Just no people knew it from the rally car. The body ended up getting destroyed for whatever reason, so I made one out of foam board. So the process is this giant bastard, just like a possibly frame goes upside next to it. This I bought a couple years ago. Was actually drivable. It just was horrendously slow. Because, you know, it's not a hobby grade. Different tires. Factory tires are painted. Body is now turquoise color. That's the original channel tag you'd ever see. I meant to put drifting on because this is going to be a drift car. It's still going to be a drift car. It's going to be a real drift car because, you know, that's the harder one to learn, I guess. So, I'm going to start the harder one. Say F it. Definitely have to make this one not rated for children. And it has suspension to it, more in the front than the rear. You know, the rear has actual shocks on it. Boat. It's an airboat. At one point, it was actually 90% done. It just needed to be waterproofed and steering set up because I didn't have any usable steering servos. Well, the motor's now in this. The ESC is now in this. Receiver is now in this. The battery had junk, and it's I think sitting in this pile over here of mess because I need to clean the table again, even though I only half cleaned it originally. I need to organize tools, clean the top of the toolbox off, clean that corner out. And well, now we're going to do a video on the Camaro, which is leaning because there's no tires on the other side of it. But this is about its ride height. If you can see whatever that is. Yep, that's something in a sec. Wing also with the original channel name painted on it. Because this was originally a Haggard RC car. Oh, hold on a second. And actually, it's just there at the custom painted devil skull on the back of it. First crash I had the car, that one's a different one. That when you reheated the paint off, the scrape was actually with a wall. Hit a piece of wood, I think. That's been mounted 3 times now. And this is the frame, which I had built like 2-ish years ago. Tried making an interior out of foam board. That was when I found out how easily this shit falls apart when it gets wet. Although granted, it did work for holding stuff into place. That is a rear end mount, because at one point I was using the rear end of that as a transmission. The rear end actually snapped off at one point, so it now has what looks like a trailer hitch as the rear body mount. This is because this vehicle injured somebody, so now it has a big old bumper on the front, because this fucked someone's leg up at like 6 miles an hour. Well, the plan with this is actually the frame's getting completely rebuilt. Frame is getting rebuilt because I'm not liking this anymore. Originally it was built to just be whatever. Now I actually want it to look nice. I might make custom axles for it to lift the pumpkin up solid inch from where it is currently sitting. Also widen each side of the axle out 2 inches, inch and a half, something like that. And I might go with Summit tires on this. So I want tires to be a little bigger because they hilariously look factory size and these lightly trimmed fenders on this car. Then we have this here. This is the most complete thing I have, which was a Walmart bought, supposedly 10 mile an hour rock bouncer. I mean, it actually did pretty well. I was at one point drifting it in the snow. Well, it no longer has tires. That's actually what holds back from being usable currently. Those tires are on this big ass trailer over here. But this thing is going to get re-electronic and it's going to get different axles. I'm actually going to leave the shocks in the rods it has on there just because they're kind of cool looking. You know, these shocks are quite springy. I'm going to leave those on there because they're kind of cool looking. And I get like decent flex out of them, so they're just kind of bouncy. Well, they do have a version of this that's actually more expensive than this. I got this for $50. You can get a version that's like $150. It's actually got correct electronics and better axles in it. This. If you think about it, you would think it'd be just about the same size as the Camaro. It's actually a few inches shorter. This originally I was going to make to be a trophy truck because now it kind of had that look to it already. Got this from Walmart on sale at Black Friday for $50. I guess it was originally $100. Originally, I was just gonna make this fit on the Camaro's frame, then found out it was 3 inches longer than this body. So now this is gonna get its own frame and be its own vehicle. And I'm gonna go King of the Hammer style on this truck. And this, because it's actually a little narrower too than the Camaro body, I think that will probably actually get those kind of axles on it. As you can see, I also trimmed the whole front end off of the grill. Kind of had that. It's going to kind of go with the vibe it has. The floor is completely cut out. That was originally to fit the Camaro about frame. That's why I found it doesn't work with it. So now it's going to get roll caged. Might give it a square roll cage, kind of make it look like an SUV with no back roof. The window's cut out. But I'm basically going to make it where this actually screws to the frame, and I changed the battery and turned it on through the back window here. Which, like I said, you can see there's nothing in here. So if I make a frame and just have this spare tire kind of sitting, because these are actually the fatter tires off it minus this. That's me trimming it. If I put tires in it like this, or just one center one, I could reach my hand around, be able to turn it on, take batteries in and out of it. Basically make the tire go on like pin system, so it'd be easier to get on and off if needed. Make tire functional, not just this one. Oh, there's a plug over there. Cool. So there's a plug over here. You're gonna do a little trimming on the side still, because I'm actually gonna cut this whole inner panel off. Leave the one on the bed so it looks like it's the actual tailgate on there still. But now this has become its own vehicle. One of these hinges had a button underneath it. I think it was this one. Turn shit on. Yeah, that was one that had a button on it. So this is going to end up being its own vehicle. And then we have this mess of a car. This is a only actually running vehicle on this channel. My 2-wheel drive Slash, it's actually going on 4 years of having this truck. I got it January of 2017, I think. 2018. That's 2017's right. So going into 2021, because it's already going on September of 2020. January, I think 8th, it'll be 4 years me owning this truck. And as you can see a little bit from certain spots, this is the OG Pink Edition 2-wheel drive Slash with no name driver. It didn't have a thing on there, so this is obviously not a licensed Traxxas truck like they do with some of their vehicles. This thing has literally been through hell and back. And keep going. There's not a whole lot left of the body. Kind of just been destroyed abusing the out of it. The only thing I've actually broke on here was one of these arms. I want to say it's this one. Broke literally just the thing right here off. Broke just one of these. That was it. Super glued it on like 8 times. And then I think trying to do wheelies, I broke one of these hubs here off. I know this has been the only drivable vehicle, and this is actually going to get a rebuild at some point. But it's going to get tires in the body first. Oh, and if anybody's wondering, this channel might get boring at some point. There's a whole goddamn notebook of vehicles.